traveling south downriver on the Gordon River. This river drains the southwest portion of Naples all the way up to Vanderbilt Beach, all the way over towards the zoo and the airport, and also most of Golden Gate City through the Golden Gate Main Canal, pours into the Gordon River. It also drains Freedom Park up there off Golden Gate if you've been over there. So all of this watershed drains through this area along with a few other feeder creeks that come in too. So there's a lot of fresh water that moves into the Gordon River. This is an estuarine system. 2 times a day you've got an influx of salt water at high tide, you've got an outflow of fresh water at low tide. And it's because it is an estuary like that that it is such a rich environment for marine wildlife, freshwater wildlife, and us. That's why it's such a popular spot. Now when it was first discovered, the Gordon River would not look anything like this. It would have been a very small mangrove-choked river. In 1871, the first notable town was started here. It was more like a fishing camp than anything else. It was started by Mr. Roger Gordon, whom the river is named after. He had the first couple of hotels, the first fishing pier, and a couple of fishing camps down on Key Waden Island. Now, at that time, Naples was not a tourist destination. You wouldn't have had people flocking to Southwest Florida to have a vacation. None of this area had been drained or developed at that point. It was still very much part of the Everglades wetland system. It was basically swamp. And so it was probably full of mosquitoes, full of flies, full of all sorts of good things that like to suck on your blood. However, it was a good shelling and fishing destination, and so it was fairly popular for that. It wasn't until the 1940s, 1950s that it started being developed as a residential area. You started getting some development on the side. Back in the from 1910 to 1920, this wide area, as we're moving into up here, called Naples Bay, is actually still part of the Gordon River, but it was widened out during that period of time using dynamite, of all things. Certainly couldn't get away with doing that today due to environmental concerns, but at the time they were more concerned with widening out the Gordon River for developable area. It's hard to argue with jet engines, so we'll try to talk over it. Certainly wouldn't have been any yachts like Glory over here on the right-hand side in the bay at that time. Wouldn't have been the depth involved. Glory's 112-foot Westport yacht. It's going to run you anywhere from about $11 to $12 million. That doesn't include the boat slip. A lot of these slips that you see for larger yachts here in the bay are actually deeded slips. You purchase them outright. They're not rented. And any one of these wet slips that could house a boat the size of Glory is going to run you anywhere from $500,000 to $600,000 or $700,000, depending on location. It's a lot of money for a slip without a boat. As we come into Naples Bay here, you can see quite a few sailboats and some other vessels anchored over there off our front right quarter. If you have your own vessel and you anchor it here in Naples Bay, outside of the navigable channel, and you have all of the correct lighting so it's not a hazard to navigation, you can park your boat here indefinitely at no charge. Naples is a free bay. We call these freeboaters. Over there on the right. Also on the right over there, you can see those little sailboats pulled up on the shore. That is Landings Park, one of 2 public boat launches on Naples Bay and the Gordon River. And those little sailboats are part of the Naples Sailing School. They'll take kids out ages 6 to 16 and teach them the rules of the road and how to stay safe on a sailboat. You can see these channel markers that we've come into too. Red triangles on the left right now, green squares on the right. These channel markers mark the navigable channel within Naples Bay and the Gordon River. If you stay within those channel markers, you're usually going to have enough depth not to worry about your boat. And there's sort of an unwritten rule. If you're on your way back into Naples Bay, and by back I mean the return trip from a larger body of water to the north or upstream is sort of the unwritten rule. You will have red markers on your right, so red right return. If you're going out, going downstream to the south or towards a larger body of water, green markers on your right, green go. Easy to remember, easy to think of. They are numbered, and so from a Coast Guard standpoint, if you ever find yourself in trouble, you can tell the Coast Guard basically exactly where you are by giving them the waterway that you're on and the numbered marker that you can see. Over on the right-hand side over there, directly into the sun, unfortunately, you can see a small gray building with a blue sun. That is the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, an all-volunteer organization made up of retired military, retired Coast Guard, police, folks like that, who will patrol the waterways here within Naples Bay. They don't have any regulatory power. What I mean by that is they can't pull you over and give you a ticket or arrest you. But what they can do is help boaters stay safe by letting them know what the rules are, what the rules of the road are, if they're doing something unsafe. And also, they will perform a wonderful service for you if you own your own vessel. You can invite them on board, and they will let you know if you have all of the safety gear necessary to comply with the Coast Guard and to make sure you are safe on your vessel based on what you're doing with it. So, great bunch of guys to have out here working with us. Also on the right-hand side over there, you can see those small blue trim buildings. That is the newly constructed city docks. They were originally constructed in 1971. You've got Creighton Cove and some interesting shops back in there as well, and the Cove Inn. The old docks were torn down just before Hurricane Irma about 16 months ago. And the new city docks were being constructed within a week and a half of the hurricane ending. They were perfectly poised with all of their construction gear and contractors ready to go as soon as the hurricane ended. Made it real handy for them. Another point to note with these channel markers, if you bring your own vessel into Naples Bay, like I said, they keep the water within the channel at a navigable depth. Currently it's about 11 feet right here, about 3.5 meters. If you wander outside this channel, the water can drop to a depth of less than a foot, about 30 or 40 centimeters without any warning whatsoever. Kind of dangerous for your vessel if you don't know where you're going. So unless you know the water, the best idea is to stay within the channel. Now the last of the docks that I'll be talking about a little bit is right over here on the right. You can see that yellow building where they're having a new roof done here, and this long stretch of slips that come out and terminate there at that blue yacht called Maira. This is the most prestigious of the yacht clubs here in Naples, aptly called the Naples Yacht Club. And to get in, it's not too difficult. You just have to be a permanent resident here within Collier County. You have to have a couple of other members write letters of recommendation. You have to have a really good FICO credit score. And you have to be able to write them a $35,000 non-refundable check for consideration. That's consideration. If they like you, they keep the check. If they don't like you, they keep the check. Either way, they keep the check. But that doesn't mean you get a boat slip. That just means you get to go have dinner at the clubhouse. It's a 3 to 5 year waiting list to actually get a boat slip at Naples Yacht Club. That's going to cost you an extra $250,000, and they only turn over by attrition. Now that said, since the average age is late hundreds in there, so attrition sometimes happens pretty quickly. Now we're going to be talking about 3 different neighborhoods briefly as we do this tour.